There are certainly a lot of moving parts. I am curious, before we get to the potential bilateral and trilateral meetings coming up, President Trump said that he doesn't think you need a ceasefire. And this is different language, as you and I said, than was coming out before. Before it was the goal is ceasefire. Does that concern you, him saying, I don't think there needs to be a ceasefire? Do you think there needs to be a ceasefire?
I would certainly prefer a ceasefire and then negotiations, not least because those negotiations are likely to take a long time and be very drawn out with all the issues we've just discussed and many more. Security guarantees, which parcels of land would be given up, what happens to the Ukrainian children who have been abducted from Ukraine and taken to Russia for brainwashing. What about soldiers who have been captured by both sides? It's just so much to negotiate. It could take a very long time. They should be fighting during that time, or should they have a ceasefire during that time? Even as we discussed briefly, that before the trilateral, there's supposed to be a meeting between just Putin and Zelensky. Should Ukrainians be getting bombed in their homes while that meeting is taking place? Is that conducive for some kind of agreement? If there were conditions of ceasefire, wouldn't that be better? But President Trump has moved on from that. The Europeans are not pushing for that aggressively, at least. So it's very hard to see how we get back to that idea that we want a peace fire rather than trying to go straight away to some kind of comprehensive deal or agreement between Ukraine and Russia at a time when Russia continues to attack. Now, Ukraine is hitting back as best they can. I think as long as there is a war going on, I would certainly urge President Trump to supply all the weaponry that Ukraine needs. The way to do that, of course, the way he has wanted to do that and should do that, is by selling the weaponry to NATO members, to Britain, to France, to Germany, and let them transfer them to their European to the European nation that needs them, which is Ukraine. That's the way to do it. And if you do that, if you send long-range missiles, for example, and you don't have the restrictions Biden had about targeting inside Russia, then I think it's absolutely possible for Zelensky, for the Ukrainians, to put a lot of additional pressure on Putin and on Russia. I also think sanctions should not be at all removed. They haven't been so far. I think they should be increased to put more pressure on Putin, because the truth of the matter is his economy is not in good shape. It's not healthy, and he is getting hit militarily, including his energy infrastructure. It's been done with drones, not with missiles. That's harder to do, but Zelensky, the Ukrainians have done it. So while I prefer to see a ceasefire, I think President Trump would like to see a ceasefire, if for no other reason than people stop getting killed every day. Right now, that doesn't appear to be in the cards.